Socialism, your girlfriend's favorite buzzword. People hate capitalism. Capitalism's evil. Capitalism is the reason why you can't afford childcare, you can't afford rent, you can't afford to buy a house, you can't afford to get that open heart surgery. I understand why people want to change. I too want to change because I'm tired of not being able to afford anything. I'm tired of going down to the grocery store and just paying hundreds of dollars. I'm tired of when I cut myself, I had to pay $600 just for a few bandages at the hospital. I'm tired. I'm legitimately tired. But I don't know if socialism is the answer. I just don't know if handing the government that much power solves these underlying problems. You know, we kind of have done this thing in this country where, who knew that helping someone out is socialist? Like, having retirement and workers' rights, bam, you're a socialist. I don't know. I think that's going to be the new S word instead of the other S word we have. It's going to be socialism. I only say this because I've spent so many years studying business, and if there isn't, the biggest business failure a country can do is implement socialist practices, at least to the scale that I think people want. Of course, in small things, it's somewhat successful. But at least in the United States, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense in the fact that the way our government is structured, the way the society is structured, it would do more harm than good, in my opinion. But the problem is, I'm not trying to solve an economic problem. I'm not trying to solve a social problem or political problem. This problem is really an emotional problem, if we really think about it. People are getting cheated at work. People are getting cheated at the grocery store. People are getting even cheated in their sports teams. Like, come on, man. Like, why is it that the Kansas City Chiefs are always in the Super Bowl? Like, there has to be something rigged going on. And whenever people feel cheated, they want drastic change. Donald Trump was supposed to be that drastic change, but I think people are realizing that maybe that's not enough. Maybe that's just not enough. Because things are still just as expensive. I don't know if housing affordability has gone. I don't know if houses are more affordable or housing affordability has gone up or houses are more affordable. I don't think that's changed since Trump became president. It seems like more or less the same thing. It seems like make America great again, save America, drain the swamp. It seems like man drained the swamp and filled it with more water. It was more of a change of management. I think something new. And I get it. I completely get it. Because I want to change too. I would love a change. I would love to go to work and then and come home and not have it to worry about money. I would love that too. It would be nice to not have to worry about rent every month. It would be nice not having to just feel the kick in my wallet every time I go out. It would be nice. It would be nice to go on vacation. It would be nice to afford a vacation for once. These would be nice things. But at the moment, at least the way my life is, and I think a lot of millions of others Americans, it ain't structured like that. Closest thing you have to a vacation is, rolling something up and smoking it in some capacity. And cheap vacation. Thank you, Frank Ocean. I don't know what's going to cause this. I really don't know what's going to cause this change, but I think voting in some kind of political revolutionary or something. If this political revolutionary is not already here, I don't know if that solves things though. I really don't, because when you look at Cuba, when you look at the Soviet Union, when you look at Venezuela, those are all failed states. That's the thing. It feels so good in the moment. It feels so great until you actually have the consequences. Until you're like, oh, dang, this is an unplanned pregnancy. But no, it really does feel good in the moment until you realize that actions have consequences. And giving the government this much power, giving the government this much control is not really a long-term solution, because at the end of the day, we have to take accountability. These corporations, they're not taking accountability, and under a socialist system, if anything, they might even find a way to make more money. Coca-Cola, Facebook, Amazon, Google, all these people might find a way to make more money. And I don't think just this command and control economy that people would like is going to give them the outcomes that they expect. Like, if anything, your life is going to get more complicated. Because yeah, let's say bread gets cheaper, meat gets cheaper, but imagine you're only able to get meat on Tuesdays every other week. Like, that's how it works. That's how socialism works. That's the part they don't tell you, is that it works, 20% of the time, all the time. As in, it doesn't work. And I could say, oh, wow, we need capitalism, we need free market capitalism, but I'm burnt out by that too. I could use something new too. But I know for a fact giving politicians more power will not solve the problem. It won't bring this utopia that we think. It might make things more complicated, and I don't know what it's going to take, and I really hope I'm wrong. This is actually really, if anything, it's the closest thing I have to a prayer on this channel. I pray that I'm wrong. I pray that for some odd reason we figure out things. I just don't see it happening. I see America becoming some form of socialist. Either some form of socialist or some kind of balkanization where there's a socialist region and then other parts have capitalism, and you kind of see this shuffling around. But I do see some form of socialism, some form of that happening within the United States, or what we call the United States now. Who knows? Who knows? That's the thing about the future. People don't really realize that history happens in real time. So what we call the United States now, maybe in 50 years, 120, may not be the United States. Countries change names all the time. So we'll see what happens. But at least within my lifetime, well, my projected lifetimes over the next 50, 60 years, I can see some kind of socialist system emerging. Like, I can. And do I want it? No. Do I think it's a real possibility? Yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked, please like and subscribe. My socials will be linked down below and at the end of this video. Road to 500. Might get there September, might get there never. This might never. I might just be stuck at 419 for life. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.